Hey bestie, welcome back. Today we are talking about how to make money on maternity leave without stressing about your business. I'm Amy Walker, your biz bestie, and I help small business owners be able to create consistent, predictable sales through organic marketing and scalable sales strategies, and I am so glad that you're here.
Perfect.
First of all, congratulations on the pregnancy. That is so incredibly exciting. I have 5. 4 of them were born while I was an entrepreneur. One of them was born just a couple months before I started my first business. They truly are the best and they truly grow so fast. And I am going to share with you some of the things that I have learned that I wish I could impart to my pregnant Amy self because now my baby is 9. My oldest is 19, and it's true what everybody says. You blink and you miss it, especially that newborn phase where they're just like a little ball on your shoulder. It goes so fast, and I truly want you to be able to enjoy it and feel peace and not have to stress about your business while you should be in baby snuggle mode. One of my favorite emails that I ever got from one of my clients was from a client of mine named Nicole. She sent me a message, and this was at the end of the year. She was doing her taxes and she just had her 3rd baby. And she said, I just want to thank you so much. I didn't have my highest selling year, but it was a really good year. And I only closed 1 or 2 of the deals this whole year. And I got to take a lot of time and enjoy this last baby that I'm going to have. And I loved that testimonial because that's exactly what we're trying to create, is the ability to give ourselves permission to really dig into the experience that we want to have with our baby on maternity leave.
This is ridiculous.
For some of you, that's going to look different than others. Some of you are like, literally after 3 weeks, I want to do things. And some of you are like, I actually don't want to have to really be back for months. I want to enjoy this phase. You can have whatever experience you want as long as you create a plan for it. So that's what we're going to do in this video. I'm going to walk you through the process that we use with Nicole to get her business ready for her to take that maternity leave. So the first thing that we do is we manage expectations. We get really clear on what it is that you want. If you want an extended maternity leave like Nicole wanted, then you might not want to plan on this being a record-breaking sales year, but you do want to get clear on what do I actually need from my business? What can my business sustain while I'm taking off this time? And be honest with yourself about expectations. It's kind of like we need to be honest with ourselves about how long it's going to take before we fit back into our jeans. Otherwise, we're disappointed when we can't wear them after 2 weeks, right? You want to be in a similar place with your business. Set some manageable expectations.
Ta-da!
Number 2, I want you to create your maternity business plan. How much do you want to bring in? How much time do you want to take off? What are you going to do and what are you not going to do? One of the coaches on my team right now is so close to having her baby, and we've had these conversations. How much time is she taking off? What does she want to do? What does she not want to do? And knowing that there may be some flexibility needed in there because you never really know what it's going to be like until you actually have the baby. But you do want to go into it with a plan. Third thing you're going to do is communicate with your clients what you will and won't be available to do. Your clients have paid for an experience with you, so you get to provide that experience. However, you get to provide that experience by bringing some other people in. And I know that some of you are like, but my clients don't want to work with someone else. They want to work with me. I totally get it. But you're also having a baby. And so you need to communicate with them how they will be taken care of and let them know what the plan is and when they can and cannot reach you and what you can and cannot do.
That's right.
Now we're going to start shifting and looking at our sales and marketing strategy before maternity leave, during maternity leave, and also after maternity leave. If you don't create a longer term plan, then what will happen is generally sales and marketing stop while you're on maternity leave because you didn't really get yourself ready for it. So prior to maternity leave, what I'm looking at with marketing is I'm creating a 12-month marketing calendar. And when I help my clients build their 12-month marketing calendar, we're looking at a couple of important key things here. One is figuring out how many leads do you need each month to hit your sales goals. That's really important to know. The second is I like them to have 5 or 7 different lead generation strategies that they can use to bring leads into their business. During this time, it's particularly important that not all of your marketing involves you being there. So you want to actually plan that ahead of time and look at the times when you want to take off. What can you do so that you can still bring leads in and not do that? So for example, do you want to film a bunch of content before you go on maternity leave? Do you want to schedule a bunch of podcast interviews but have them air while you're on maternity leave? So you pre-record and then you have them air. Do you want to, instead of, for example, I do a lot of expert summits where I host an online conference and I bring a bunch of experts together. Well, guess what? I am not planning on having any more babies. My youngest is 9 and I'm good. But if I was, I could plan instead a joint venture giveaway where I connect with all of the experts and they all have something to give away, and my team could run that completely without me. So we want to actually look at our marketing plan and make sure that we have this window of marketing going on while we're on maternity leave, so leads are still coming in. And then also getting clear on when do we want to transition back into us being more involved and being more of the face inside of the marketing. So really, really important. All right, next thing is your sales. So if you want to really truly take off and you want sales to still be happening anyway, you've either got to be selling through automation and systems, or you need a sales team, one or the other. Otherwise, you're going to be coming home from the hospital, doing sales calls and scheduling business, and it's going to be challenging.
Come on, hey.
So with your sales team, they need to be hired several months before you go on maternity leave, because that's the training, the onboarding, getting them up to speed to the point where they can replace you while you're out. It takes time to train really good closers, really good setters. The last thing that I would recommend for you is that you get really clear on what you're going to sell, and sell a little differently during this phase. Like reshift your programs and your products. For example, you don't want to sell services that require you to fulfill them, but you could sell products, you could sell courses, you could sell automated services. One of the things that I really like to do while I'm on maternity leave is focus on ticket sales for an event that's going to happen after I get done with maternity leave that will create a big boost in revenue. So selling, like just where you position the products and what you're going to actually offer will make a big difference as well.
Come on, there's got to be something.
Most of us become entrepreneurs because we want to have time freedom. We want to be able to put our family first and work our business around what we've got going on with family. And for a lot of women, unfortunately, what that looks like is they stop working when their family is needing more time. And while we value that flexibility of being able to make the choice of stop, start, what happens, and I know this from personal experience, what happens is you stop and then you get to the point where you're like, okay, I'm not comfortable with no money coming through, and you go back to work more quickly. So it really is in your body's best interest, and your bonding with your baby's best interest, and even just like your mental and emotional and physical well-being, if you will create a plan that gives you more time. With my last baby, I launched the business 6 weeks before he was born, and I held my first event 2 weeks after when he was 2 weeks old. I had been home from the hospital with a C-section for 1 week. And that is the first time that I've ever struggled with postpartum depression. No surprise why, right? Like I was pushing myself, and I was doing it not out of a place of desire, but out of a place of fear. That I was like, holy moly, I have quit my job and I am launching this business, and I have got to get it to be successful because I have to be able to pay my portion of the bills. So it wasn't done because that was my desire. If you desire to be back at work in 2 weeks, go for it. I still had lots of baby snuggle time, but it was not what I desired, and it wasn't what was good for me. And I just simply didn't have a plan in place. So my advice for you is get your plan in place. Give yourself the time, because truly babies are the most magical thing in the world. And I'm so excited for you and your little one, and I can't wait to hear more about your journey as a mom and as a businesswoman. So if you have any other questions or you want to talk through some more things, come join me in my private Facebook group, Acquire. I would love to connect with you there. And of course, when you have the baby, I need to see the pictures. So I hope this is helpful for you. And if you like this content, make sure that you hit like and subscribe to the channel so you can get notified every time we release new content. So we have talked about how to make money on maternity leave without stressing for your business. The next video that I want you to go watch is what is the foundation for a successful business? I can't wait to see you there.